Arsenal lose last night, and obviously the world has gone into meltdown. I'm seeing Arsenal fans that were trusting processes now say that they're not trusting processes. I saw Gunnar Solskjaer come on here a week ago talking about how they can beat anyone in the world and he loves his manager and club. Almost Arteta out again last night. We've got Igal predicting 4-0 wins away from home in the Champions League, and they drop points. Igal, what was your reaction to last night's defeat and the sort of the outrage that's come from lots of Gooners and lots of rivals since?
Disappointment, of course. When you play very negative, you're playing into your opponent's hand, and you're basically giving them opportunity to snatch it at the end of the game. We look like near the end of the game, we weren't even creating any chances for the majority of the game. And at the end of the game, we're just looking like we're trying to get the draw and get out of there. And you see the momentum shift, and Porto were just continuously giving us barrage of attacks. And I honestly put it down to the negativity that we set up with. So it is today, that game is on the manager. And of course, we could have played a faster tempo. We could have played a little bit quicker, we could have been more aggressive in the attack and tried to go for that goal. Like back in the day when you had the away goal rule, we should have tried to go for the goal, but we didn't. We kind of sat back. We kind of didn't take our chances when we had a couple chances, maybe two at best. And the reaction, Terry, is the reaction you're always going to get. This is what we are as fans. You're going to have moments where when you feel like you're expected to win off the back of 5 games, you get a result like that where you lose on the final kick of the game. There's going to be a level of anger. There's going to be a level of shock. There's going to be a level of this always happens to us in the Champions League also. So that is another factor that people will always bring up. This happens to us every year in the Champions League. And it's just like, when will it end? When will we finally just see like an easy road, an easy win in the Champions League group stages? Because it's been since 2017 when we were playing Barca and Bayern consistently back in those days, since 2006, 2007. I don't remember how long it's been since we got to a further stage in the Champions League. So I'm not surprised at all by the reaction. The meltdowns are going to happen, but the rivals, you guys enjoy it because you're not going to see many losses from Arsenal.
Do you know why I'm enjoying this?
This is arrogance. That's the arrogance right there.
Should I tell you why? Should I tell you why I'm enjoying this? I'm gonna let the people understand why I'm enjoying this so much, because Igal has had a lot to say about his team and has a lot to say about my team as well. So I'm just gonna play a little 10-second clip about what he said about Arsenal and about Liverpool.
I was respectful, but after we played them, we beat them comprehensively. I knew we're a better team than them. No,
James, you're speaking a good point.
Jay, you said you test teams against your own team. When Arsenal played Tottenham, I knew Tottenham were a decent team to see. When I played Liverpool at home twice and I lost and I won the second game, I know that Liverpool are a false image behind all those goals and everything else.
Do you still believe that, Igal? Do you still believe we're a false image?
Yeah, nothing changed. Our result doesn't affect my.
How can you say that we're a false image when usually my team, when they go to the Dragons' Den, slaps 5 against them? When Don's team goes to the Dragons' Den, they slap 2 or 3 against them. So how can you say we're a false image when your team is getting beaten by a Porto team who, let's be fair, is not as good as the teams that we used to play against? So please explain that to me, Igal.
First of all, your team is not as good as the team that used to be when you're in the Champions League, or else you'd be in the Champions League this year. Number one. Number two.
No, the Porto team we played was better.
That's number one. Number two, the two do not correlate. My opinion of Liverpool does not get changed by a result versus Arsenal Porto. So come again with another point, because I honestly don't see the correlation.
No, because you said you were objectively.
Is this segment about Liverpool or is it about Arsenal?
Because we're going to talk about the title race. You said you're objectively a better team than Liverpool, yet we are 5 points ahead of you. Explain that.
Yeah, because you have a game in hand. And when we win our game on the weekend, it's only going to be 2 points. But hey, you keep talking.
We're still ahead of you.
Oh wait, Ram. I like what you're doing, Ram. I like what you're doing, but you are pushing it a bit away from the cooking that Igal deserves for that performance yesterday.
No, everyone.
What you've done, Ram. What you've done. I'll be honest with you. You've gone a little too early on that bit. That needs to come after this segment because, we'll come back to what you're saying because I want to speak about last night's game because Igal, and we'll come back to what you're saying, Ram, because I think there's elements of importance to that. In terms of what something Igal said, and I want to throw this out to the panel. You've said the same thing that Mark Goldbridge said, Igal, that it was Arsenal being negative and trying not to win. I saw it as Arsenal trying to win, but just not being able to break down a very resolute low block side. Like, I want to go to Patrick first on this. What did you see it as? Was it Arsenal being negative, or was it just a struggle to break down a very resolute, well-drilled Porto team?
I saw it as Arsenal being not naive, probably I'd say inexperienced is probably what I saw it as, inexperience in Europe. And for as good as they've been in the Premier League, and as good as Saka and Odegaard and all these guys have been, when it comes to playing in big scale Champions League away games, this team doesn't know how to do that because they haven't been through it. Every time they've played in these big moments, in these knockout games, they've come a cropper. And yesterday was another example of that. And we all expect them to beat them at home. We all get it. But away games against good teams in the Champions League, you got a European heritage comes into play. Porto play this competition year in and year out. They know what they're doing. The fans are up for it. They know what they're doing. And you guys you walked into the Lions' den and you got a rude awakening. And yeah, and this is what I mean when I said it earlier about us fans saying about Xabi Alonso going to Bayern Munich. Sometimes we live in cuckoo land and we think the Premier League is the be-all and end-all. There's leagues around the world and Europe, and there's players in Europe that are up for it 100% when they play Premier League teams because of all the fanfare it comes with. And these guys that have that Champions League pedigree, they're just on the ball and they know what they're doing. And to not have a shot on target, that is criminal. That's disgusting. That is atrocious football. You know, you look at your Burnleys and your Lutons and your Norwiches, and even these guys will probably get one shot on target. To not have a shot on target, big questions need to be asked of Arteta. And then for me, David Raya to get beat like that, what was he doing? Like, he should be saving that shot. I'm sorry, his positioning is awful. He's all over the place. Declan Rice should have got closer to the player and defended it. There's a lot of things that went wrong in that last passage of play, and rightfully so. You left without the points, and it's all well and good having all the possession, amount of corners and all of that, but at the end of the day, the stat that matters is the final scoreline.
Patrick, just to add to that possession, Igal tweeted at
But that's
halftime.
harsh, Patrick.
He said,
On the
hold on,
goalkeeper.
Igal.
On the goalkeeper, that's harsh. Come on.
His positioning was awful. He should not be getting beaten from there.
Awful position
like that.
The ball ended up in the bottom corner. It was an awful
exactly.
position.
It's like, come on.
And Igal, if you even go check statistically last season, him and Kepa let in the most long range shots. That's why I didn't want Raya, because he's 6 foot like Kepa. He's not that tall for a keeper. But Patrick, yesterday, Igal tweeted at halftime saying Arsenal dominated that first half. Dominate? How did you dominate that first half? You know the definition of dominate.
I'm gonna name the stats. Go on.
1 second. I actually meant to say, I edited it. I said Arsenal dominated possession. And if you read the full tweet, what did I say after that? Well, we didn't do nothing with the ball. It was not a compliment. The tweet was not a compliment at all. It was actually an indictment to how we were playing. We had majority of the ball. We didn't do nothing with it. That's what I was pointing out. So if you read it as dominated, no, we had all the possession. We didn't do shit with it. It was an insult to the team. What were we actually doing with the possession? We dominated possession, but we did nothing with it. It's an indictment to our possession. What were we doing? We were passing backwards, forwards,
I just call that literally holding on to the ball. You didn't do anything, because let's be honest.
Yeah, it's not a compliment.
Literally, even when you watch the game, like I was watching the game, and even though Arsenal had a lot of the ball, you didn't create no chances. Every time I saw like a dangerous attack or a team going forward, it was Porto. Porto were catching you guys on the counter, breaking down the left, breaking down the right. And the whole performance just exude like inexperience. Like, your players weren't ready for it. The fact that I saw Declan Rice come in 1 minute into a knockout game performance and clatter someone, yellow card. Like, he's lost his mind. They just weren't up for it. The likes of Saka, the man that's been compared to Gareth Bale and Eden Hazard all week by you, Igal, let's say, by the way. You compared him to Bale. No. You compared him to Bale. When I called you out for it, you didn't respond.
Statistics don't lie.
Funnily enough, your statistics didn't lie. But what did lie was the performance. Saka, knockout rounds, FC Porto, done nothing. He had one dribble the whole game. One dribble attempt. And that is what you call a winger. Is this what we call a winger in 2024? It's absolutely poor. Your teams weren't up for it. The players weren't up for it. And the arrogance that you have for the team that performs, yes, in the Premier League, you've battered a couple of the little boys. You had a good performance against Liverpool. But know your level. When it comes to Champions League and European pedigree, you have none. Zilch. None. And your team has showed it. 0 shots on target in what? Since 2017 in the Champions League. Yeah, I saw that stat. That killed me. But take it back. You haven't even gone through to the set quarterfinals since 2009 or something. 15 years. 14 years or something. Like, come on, girl. For you to sit there and go for the first time in a Champions League knockout and say we're gonna beat them 4-0 away from home. That just shows you're not ready for the for the Champions League, and you're not ready for them big European nights because your team. Hey.
Yeah, your fans are living in La La Land. You're living in La La Land.
Naivety kills, man.
Yeah. Can I throw this out there? Right, I'll get called a simp, but I've got to play devil's advocate. I did it with Alonso earlier. Our rivals and some Gooners, though, not themselves going a little bit early because it's only half time. And for me, if they go and beat them 2 or 3, if they go and beat them 2-0, 3-0, 3-1 in the second leg, is this cooking not coming a little bit too early, potentially, Ty?
Terry, do you know why? Terry, do you know why?
They've been hungry. Ram, let me go. These guys have been hungry, Terry, for anything to actually get us with.
No,
because you've had great results.
No, man.
They've been looking at the team and they're like, "Oh, we can't make
out. You chat the most. You do the most.
There we go.
Twitter.
No, you guys.
So much.
You guys.
No, Egal. You did this with the Real Madrid.
Stop. One at a time, please. Sorry, go on, Egal. Say your bit, and then we'll throw it out to the panel.
Okay, I can tell the way the reactions and the over celebration of whenever Arsenal drop points or anything negative happens towards Arsenal, you can see that these guys are actually worried that this might be the year Arsenal pulls something off. I know that none of them expect us to win the Champions League.
That's why.
None of us expect us to win the Champions League, but they all picked us to win against Porto. That's why they're partially here trying to banter us, because they probably all selected
No, Egal. Have some self-awareness, please.
So when it comes to this whole thing, Terry, people believe that the Champions League heritage, Porto, the fact that they won a Champions League years ago is going to win them the game at the Emirates. And they believe the fact that they're going to that next tie.
Let me just ask you a question though. And again, I'm being neutral to this as best I can. Do you not think that a team like Porto that are regularly in the Champions League, whose fans, by the way, know what it? I know that me and you have had some spats. You tweeted something recently that what fans say and do has no impact on the field of play. I completely disagree. I think the behavior of fans at grounds, the anxiety they push out or the support they push out helps the football team. It's why you win more games at home than away from home, because of your home fans versus away fans as a general rule. So do you not think that know-how and that experience as a club, as individuals and as fans gives them an element of an advantage over a club that's spent the best part of a decade away from the Champions League, a team right now as individuals that's never played a Champions League knockout game? Do you think that has no impact at all?
Experience obviously has an impact, Terry, but it's not the be on and end all. We're going to be at home, and I expect us to beat Porto at home in the second leg. And I expect it to be an easy, not easy win, but like for us to get through this tie and it be a lot more comfortable than people making it seem, because they're making it seem like we're going to be struggling until the 90th minute in the second tie in our own ground.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
There's a reason why the second leg is at our house, is because we topped our group and Porto didn't. And I'm coming into the second tie, and I'm saying no worries. You guys all celebrate. You enjoyed this, but as an Arsenal fan, I'm looking at this team and I'm saying that we're still going to do the business at the Emirates. Until this thing is done, you guys can continue to have your early celebrations. Because
no. Can I just say something? It's not about early celebration. The truth is, right? Everyone expects to beat Porto, by the way. So you beating Porto and then coming back on you after the second leg, I told you, no, that's a formality. You should be beating Porto. What it is the naivety of you guys that thinking you were going to rock up to Porto and just beat them at a landslide. That's what we're coming to you at.
I'm seeing Chelsea do it. I'm seeing Chelsea.
I'm just trying to give you the real side.
Bro, don't compare us to you lot in Europe.
Compare my team to your team, bro.
Don't compare.
Egal, where I'll call you out on that is, where I'll call you out, you're Canadian and supporting Canada at the World Cup, and you came on and cooked me when England got knocked out. Like, that's just part of football.
See,
like
Terry, this is how Egal views football. The fact that he said Chelsea and Liverpool can go there and go do it, why can't we? Shows that you watch football. You look at football on paper too much. That's number one.
Okay, fair enough.
First of all, Egal,
I have the full right to, off the back of the results that we had, to have a lot of confidence going into this tie.
Not
But
4-0
you're not
confidence.
us.
Not
You are
4-0
not
confidence.
us.
You're not us as well. Don't compare us when it comes to
Why are you
Europe.
guys
We're not the
making?
same.
Why are
Bro.
you guys making it seem
Because
like
our team's
people didn't
won
have
the
confidence
damn
going into this game?
trophy.
We're
Our
not the
team
same,
has
bro.
won the
Part
damn
of the
thing.
reason why you guys are cooking right now is because you expect Arsenal to come into this tie and win.
No,
No,
we're cooking. We're cooking
no,
because of how
the
you're
reason why we
arrogant.
cook you so much is because you chat the most.
Ram. Those two are arguing. Sorry, just
Hold
because
on,
we
hold
can't
on.
hear what
Yeah.
they're saying. Sorry, bro. I'll come back.
The reason why you're getting cooked, Igal, yeah, is because of the arrogance that you lot have showed going into this game. Yeah, I said, look, in my head, I thought, okay, Arsenal will go there. They should win the game, but it's not going to be a straightforward game the way you lot are moving on social media, 4-0 this and 5-0 this, and every single one of your player gets into Real Madrid. Bro, Champions League does not work like that. There's too many variables. There's too many intangibles. Yeah, when I was looking at the game yesterday, I wasn't seeing a team that was set up to be tactically negative. I was looking at a team that just looked nervous, bro. I looked at a team that just looks like they lacked experience. Saliba, he had a poor game, and this is a guy that we're talking about being generational. Do you know what I mean? Gabriel, he wasn't great. Of course he is, but I'm just saying he had a poor game, yesterday. Your midfield, Declan Rice, how many times did he give the ball away yesterday during the game? Like George already said earlier, got a yellow card quite early. Saka, stinking out the place. Martinelli, he kept trying, but stinking out the place. Trossard, Ghost, Havertz, what is he? Do you know what I mean at this point? Odegaard, lose touches here and there. There was a certain part in the second half where Rice fizzed it into him. Usually Odegaard will take it on his back foot and turn. Bro, the ball just fizzed past him. That's him being nervous, bro. These guys were not used to that environment that they were in. And these are the things that you got to look at in the Champions League, because again, they beat you yesterday from a big moment. And that's what Champions League is all about, bro. Big moments and chess games, bro.
They beat us because they took their chances and their tactics. It worked to perfection.
They played better than you.
Plan,
but bro,
I'm gonna be
let Igal respond, please.
I'm gonna be honest. Their tactics worked to a T. They wanted to keep the game close, and at the end, they went for it. Momentum shifted their way, and they ended up getting the breakthrough, even though it was at the last kick of the game. You got to give them full credit. I'm not saying, even though it's a smash and grab, full credit to them because that was their game plan. As for us, we didn't execute our game plan. We have to look at ourselves. I fully agree with you guys there, but let's not overdo it and make it seem like, oh, all these players are overrated now. All these players are not good as
Nah. That's not what we said. That's not what we're saying, bro.
Maybe you're not saying that, but a lot of people are doing this. They're looking at all these guys. They're talking about how Arsenal fans big up these players and making it seem like one result changes the whole trajectory.
The first thing that I said is you lot looked inexperienced and nervous. Is the first thing that I said. I didn't say your players are bad. Did I?
You know that is the definition of what happened at the end of the game. Because Martinelli, if he was a more experienced player, he doesn't kick it to Bukayo Saka into a dangerous area where we could lose the ball. He holds on to it and tries to dribble up the court, up the pitch, to get into a more safer area where he can't lose the ball. So I agree with you with the experience part, but let's not go overboard and make it seem like just because we lost to Porto in this tie, that the tie is done, that we're out of Europe. And everything else. I need to educate everybody. You keep bringing up our past. Guess what? Our past, we played Barcelona and Bayern Munich for 7 years straight. 7 years straight, we played teams that are the best teams in Europe, and we constantly got knocked out. Before that, we played Monaco and got knocked out. So honestly, I am not looking at the past with this team. I'm looking at this team as a whole different picture. And I expect this team to still get through this round. And if we have an easy tie next round, I still expect us to get through next round. You can talk about arrogance, you can talk about everything else, but I look at these players as individuals, and I don't look at the past to dictate how the performance are going to go going forward, besides a couple of results that happened recently.